Listen to me loud and clear, ladies and gentlemen, because it's raining, but I'm still out here in the field, in the flesh, getting ready to drop you all that game so you guys can make these gains. Ecclesiastes 1:9. There is nothing new under the sun. Let me repeat that again. There is nothing new under the sun. Now, today I want to talk about how that verse right there can really hit real hard for those people out there that are kind of dwelling in the past or worrying too much about the future. Because all these things revolve around cycles. Life is just one big cycle, and there's nothing new under the sun. Even though it's raining, the sun's not out, there's nothing new under it. So if you learn how to pick the pieces from your past and use them as lessons for your future while all doing that in the present moment, come on, man. You ain't gonna lose. You ain't gonna lose. So how does one do that? How do you use your past in your benefit rather than dwelling on it and then letting it just eat away at you? Well, how you do it is you detach. You detach from the moment. Go back, watch it from a third eye, bird's eye view. Don't get so emotionally attached to what already happened, because you can't change that. And don't get too emotionally attached to what's going to happen, because it hasn't happened yet. But if you step back and you take a detached point of view, you look at it from a third person perspective, you look at it like from your friend's perspective, your parents' perspective, or just a random person walking by the street, whatever happened during the past that's kind of dwelling on you, look at it from their point of view. And if you do that, you're not going to be so emotionally invested into it, like I just said, and you're going to be able to look at it more logically. You're going to be able to use more reason. And when you have reason and logic at your disposal instead of just emotion and instinct, you have to use both, but for certain times, there's certain measures that you got to use. For this instance, let's use more logic and reason, because most people are too focused on the emotional and feeling side of it when it comes to dissecting their past. So when you got logic and reason on your side, you're looking at it, you're going to be able to see certain points, certain areas, certain just trigger points that first cause that instance to happen, and secondly cause you to react in that way. It doesn't matter what the situation was, you always have control over how you react to it. But like we just said, most people are running off emotions and instinct. Boom, they react off impulse. They don't react off logic and reason because they're not disciplined enough to take a detached point of view. But like we just said, there's nothing new under the sun. If you don't learn from that lesson, if you don't learn from your past, it's gonna come right back around and you're gonna do the same thing over and over and over and over again. And you're gonna wonder why I'm in the same position over and over and over again. The definition of insanity is doing one thing, getting a result, doing the same thing, hoping for a different result, and doing that all over again. So this is becoming, you're becoming crazy, you're becoming mental, you're wilding out. But like I said, you learn. There's nothing new under the sun. This is gonna happen again in your life in some way, shape, or form. Take those lessons from it instead of taking that as a loss. And when you do that, when you become detached and you actually take logic and reasoning on your side and just pan it out, you're gonna be able to look at it more like a zoomed out version, and you're gonna see, hey man, there were 10 steps before that led me to this point. What were those 10 steps? What can I do to change those 10 steps? Because when this cycle comes back around, I'll know 10 steps in advance. You're playing 5D chess while these motherfuckers are playing 2D checkers. Come on, man. Tap in like a damn touchscreen. So another thing I want to say, when it comes to detaching, you're probably wondering, how do I do that? Well, the most potent way to do that is meditation. And you can meditate, get in that meditative state, and start to visualize that instance. And then when you start visualizing that instance, you can start visualizing a future instance that's going to come, that's going to pan out just like that. And with those visualization techniques, what you want to do is really focus on not just the picture of it, not the visual picture going on in your mind, but rather the feeling. Because when you understand that feeling, like this is where the emotion comes into play. When you understand that feeling coming around, because your brain can't distinguish what's really happening versus what's happening in your mind. When you feel that emotion coming up, catch it right there with the logic and reason. Catch it right there with the logic and reason, and break it down. Break it down, compartmentalize it, and really just look at it from each single piece. And when you do that, it's like you're dissecting your own thoughts. You're like a surgeon. You're like a chemist. You're like a bioengineer, bro. You're cooking in the lab. And then when you're doing that, you get, like I just said, you're gonna see the certain aspects, the certain values, the certain variables that caused that to happen all at once. It was a building process. It didn't just happen boom all at once. It just built up with that emotion riling up, and eventually you reacted off impulse. You reacted off your emotion. You reacted not in the way that you want, and you got the result that you don't want. And it's gonna happen again. There's nothing new under the sun. I keep saying that, it's going to happen again. And if you don't do this, you're gonna be in the same spot over and over and over again. So what does it really take? What does it really matter when you're doing all this stuff to build out a better future? Well, if you really think about it, building out a better future is just learning your mistakes from the past, bro. It's not learning so many new different things. First, clean up the past mistakes. And once you do that, you have more free time, free energy of your brain to learn new things. If you're just doing the same bullshit over and over again, and you can't get out of that rut, that loop, that just stuck pattern of life, how are you gonna expect to understand new things? You're just focused on that all the time. Your brain, your energy, your body, your soul, all that stuff is just focused on that. You can't learn new skills and learn for the new things that are coming out in the future. Because why? You shouldn't anyways. You're still in the same thing. What is adding something new gonna help you? Fix this problem. And all you have to do is look back. Turn back, rewind, flip back the pages. You missed a couple notes. You missed a couple key paragraphs. You missed a couple key sentences. And that's totally fine, man. I'm in that position. You're in that position. Everybody's in that position. We can all learn from our past and plan for a better future by working in the present. Like, this is so simple, yet so overlooked. People always want to see the new solution to everything, the new biggest discovery, the new innovation, the new whatever it is. But they can't even fix the basic stuff that's been haunting them their entire past. Come on, man. Come on. You can't go from level 3 to level 10 without freaking beating level 3. You can't. Like, this is campaign mode on whatever game that you like. You gotta finish this mission before you get to that mission. You cannot skip it. You can't mod the game. You can't do no cheats, no hacks, no none of that, bro. If you don't get this, you don't get the lessons from that, there's no way you even get to that point. So there's no way you get to your top version, your highest self, without learning the lessons down here. You gotta learn a lesson each way along the path. And you haven't learned that yet. That's why you're still stuck in this pattern. You gotta get that lesson first. You gotta complete that mission. You gotta get the rewards that come with it. Yes, it's difficult. Yeah, not many people want to do it. That's why a lot of people are stuck in life in the same position they've been in for 10, 20 years. Midlife crisis, about to come hit them like a truck. But you out here on What the Flighty, because we out here in the field, in the flesh, dropping out that game so you guys can make these gains. That's why you're not going to be in that position, bro. Because you're going to learn from the past. Because you understand, at the end of the day, the most important message I want you to take away from this video is that there is nothing new under the sun. There is nothing new under the sun. Even when you pass this level and you get these lessons, you're going to be you might get stuck in another loop. That's totally fine. But if you have this message and you have this understanding, you're gonna be Gucci. You're gonna be able to pass that next level by learning from your past than the other ones before. Why? Because you understand this message more clearly. You might have understood it before, but it hasn't hit you. But now you're here, and I'm hitting you with the facts. Hitting you with that, just the raw talk, bro. The raw talk, giving y'all that game. So you guys can make these gains. And I'm out here. Peace.